Everybody, big waves to you. We're rocking this thing this morning. So if you're new to the Coach's Corner, thanks for being here. Sophia, we are so happy that you've been on before, but we're happy to have you this morning. So, and if you don't know the power of network marketing, Jane Rouse is figuring it out. In the distance of sending her daughter off to college, she's finding out there's people here around the world that care about us, right? It's pretty cool. Unless you got a friend like Tracy Turnberg, Jane, just so you know, Tracy would probably charge you to care. No, I'm kidding, Tracy. He wouldn't. Tracy's my brother. All right. So the word for today is choice. Choice. And I really like this word, maybe because where I'm at in my walk of life right now, choice, and if you look at the definition, it's an act of selecting or making a decision when faced with two or more possibilities. And I'm really glad we got Jane and Sophia on today, because it's really interesting to think about the word choice, because there was possibilities and you selected the University of North Alabama as your ultimate possibility, which came with the choice. It was a choice. It was a decision you made. And then every choice comes with a consequence. I think about that in my life, and it's like, you make a choice, there's going to be a consequence to it. Once you make the choice, you must accept responsibility. You cannot escape the consequences of your choices, whether you like them or you don't. And Roy T. Bennett said that. And I just want to share this with you really quick, and I'm going to turn it to Andrea this morning. What Roy Bennett just said, every choice comes with consequences, is really life. That's life, right? We like some of them, some we don't like. Andrea, you're looking at me. Am I not coming through good?
To me, it's choppy, but it could be me. Anybody else think he's choppy? Okay, wow. You're choppy.
Well, it's nice. I'm on the Wi-Fi. I should be on. Is that okay? Is it coming through okay?
You're doing okay right now. You're good.
Okay. Well, stop me if don't let me just be choppy. Okay. So okay. Choices is life. And I want to give you an example. Nick Saban, which is the football coach at the University of Alabama, a few years back when I was a coach, we were having a conversation with Nick Saban. And he was talking about one of his major linebackers at the time was a senior in college. And he walked across one of these fraternities on a random day, and they shouted out an ugly word to this gentleman, this college student, this college athlete. And it really angered him. He wanted to fight him. He wanted to hurt him. Have you ever been there? He was angry, like mad. And he went to his coach, thank goodness. He went to his mentor. And Nick Saban sat him down and said, you have every right to stomp a mud hole with him. Now, that's a country term, just so you know. But you have every right to be angry. You have every right to want to inflict some pain. But let me tell you the consequence if you choose that. You've got a $6 million signing bonus coming to you at the end of this year. If you choose to inflict pain, you're going to be arrested. And once they arrest you, you will have a criminal record. And that criminal record will negate that $6 million signing bonus. And that linebacker stood up and said, Coach, that's why I came to you. I love you so much. You know what? I can deal with them. I just won't go around that fraternity home anymore to hear those comments. Isn't it amazing? You can look at that and go, isn't it amazing what a little cash might change your mind and perspective? But here's what I would say. Isn't it nice to have a mentor in your life that you can go bounce an idea off of to give you a perspective before you make the choice? And I've had times in my life where I've acted and I had to reap the consequences that it paid me because I acted before seeking maybe some counsel. Individual choices might not seem to matter that much in the moment. Usually, it's the repercussion of those decisions that have an impact on your life. Making better choices leads to better results and fewer repercussions. And that's my lesson for today on my part with choices. Choices are life. Consequences are life. I pray that each and every one of us, maybe after looking at this word, when we encounter an opportunity to make a choice, we seek some counsel before making an abrupt decision, because it just could cost us $6 million. All right, Andrew, I'll turn it to you.
Well, that was a great lesson, Coach. I appreciate that. And I think really it's not necessarily the money, it's that pause, right? Like so many times we can go to make a decision and we make it like fast, like through like the speed of light, and it's not always the right one. So the quote that I found was, "May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears." And that's Nelson Mandela. And I can't help but think of our ladies that are on here, right? So Sophia, I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about you. Jane, I'm going to talk about your baby. But I think about, well, let's go back a little bit of time. When I chose college, one, I chose it based on price, right? So I found the cheapest college I could find. But second, distance. I literally moved 55 minutes from home and was so brave, right? Like I was so brave. And so to think about this choice that you've made, like 11 hours from home, which is very close, and you've got a home 12 minutes from campus, right with me. 12 hours. Okay. So, I mean, that's a big decision that you could have absolutely let fear drive you, say, no, I'm going to stay right here. But instead you went with your hope and you picked the school that had the major that you wanted and the community that you wanted and all these things to make your dreams come true. And dang, as just this woman on Zoom, I'm so proud of you. Like that is amazing to make choices based on hope. So congratulations. I'm not going to get emotional any more than that. So good job. So anyway, I'm a mama too, darn it. So anyway, how do we make good choices when the choice seems hard? That's what I'm going to talk about today. So instead of living in that fear, how do we develop the right habits so that when we're in that moment, we can make a choice that's a good one when things are tough? So I'm going to kind of go through 10 little things that can nudge us, right? Like it's not perfect, but that can nudge us in the right direction. So first of all, write down your goals. So if you're picking your school, maybe you pick what, you write down the goal for your life, or you write down that end thing that you want and see where your choice is. It going to get you closer to that goal, or is it going to get you farther away? Number 2 is identify at least 4 alternatives. And that kind of seemed kind of crazy because I feel like, at least for me, so many times I'm like right or wrong, right? Or there's A or B. But sometimes we need to pause and look for the C, D, right? And well, that's 2 more. Okay. So we want to kind of come up with at least 4 choices for ourselves to choose from. And some might be a little crazy, but it helps us expand our mind and really make sure that we're making the right one. And then number 3, this is a tough one, figure out what we don't know. So we talked about this, I don't know if it was yesterday, I don't know, but just recently we talked about, we only know what's here and we always think we're right. We're like, my opinion is absolutely the right opinion, but there's all this other information that might actually change our minds. So see what other information you can pull into your decision, because you might not have all of the criteria that you need to make a choice. Number 4 is to step away, right? Take a pause, kind of like that young man did. And he paused for a moment, went seeked counsel, but step away from the situation and try to wait to make that decision. Number 5, take time to decide how your choice is going to affect other people. So I don't know if it's just me, but we can be selfish little humans, and we just think about, if I change this lane, I'm going to get closer to where I can turn, but I'm also going to run over that poor gentleman in the horse and the buggy next to me, right? So, look around you mentally and figure out how your choices are going to affect the other people that are around. And then number 6 is face your mistakes. This one can be hard. But it absolutely can help us inform our decisions. So if I can go back and I can think about a similar situation where I had to make a decision and maybe I made the wrong one, that can help guide me to make the right one moving forward. And then the number 7 goes exactly what Coach was saying: seek out feedback. So go find that person in your life that has wisdom in the area that you're trying to make a decision and ask their opinion, right? Check in with them and say, hey, I'm trying to do this. What do you think is right? And then number 8, imagine yourself 1 year in the future. So if you make, right, those 4 decisions, for each one, try to figure out what your life would look like in a year because of it, right? And find the right thing. And then number 9 is analyze the data. And this one's hard for me because I am an intuitive human. I live by my gut. Like, I don't even know the percentage. It's big, so it works for me. But I definitely am an intuitive decision maker a lot of the times. But sometimes that can absolutely get us in trouble because we're living on fear. We've got this bad information in our head, or we don't have all the information. So sometimes we have to pause, talk to that mentor, do a little bit of research, see what other information that we can get so that we aren't necessarily just living and deciding with that gut feeling. And then lastly, identify your values and stay true to them. We've talked about that before, how, we all have maybe this vague idea of what our values are. Like, I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to live with integrity, right? I'm going to follow Jesus, whatever it may be, right? We all have these kind of vague maybe ideas, but if you can make them more concrete, it can guide every decision that we make from that point forward. So this was a good one this morning, Coach. Thank you so much. I learned a lot.
It was a good one. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we hope you have an amazing Wednesday. And let's go rock the world out there today. We'll see you back tomorrow. Love you guys. Sophia, thanks for being on this morning. Jane, we're giving you big hugs.